How many bricks are left? 3,999. You are correct. What are 3 steps to put a deer in the fridge? Well, you open the fridge, you put the deer inside, you close the fridge. What are 4 steps to put an elephant in the fridge? You open the fridge, you take the deer out, you put the elephant inside, you close the fridge. The lion had an animal kingdom party. All the animals were going to be there, alligators, crocodiles, all the most deadliest creatures at the sea. The old lady swam across the lake, but she managed to survive. How did she manage to survive? Well, all of the creatures were at the party. So she got out the lake, she's like, yes, I'm going to go skydiving now. But as soon as she got out and dried herself off, she died. How'd she die? The brick that fell off the plane. So that's my icebreaker. It has nothing to do with the speech today, but I just wanted to open it up. My name is Joseph Almeida, or as kids try to call me, Joe Fifth and Joe Fish. I'm a substitute teacher, an aftercare counselor, and I just love, impacting people, the youth. I'm a kid at heart. If you ask people, they just said, Joseph, you're a kid at heart. So, the title of my TEDx talk is How Living Like a Third Grader Can Transform Your Lifestyle. I know you're thinking, Joseph, all third graders do is eat Takis and play Pokemon. That is very true, but there is so much more than that. So, lifestyle. Lifestyle, as defined, as dictionary.reference.com says, is the habits, attitudes, tastes, morals, standards, economic level that constitute for an individual, right? As I said, Takis. So in my 25 years of living, I've observed a lot. I'm always around the youth, and in the generation that I can tell a lot about our culture. I'm a sociology major, so I love the way people interact. How we go about living our life. But I do see some potential that we could improve on. I do sense a lack of communication that leads to conflicts in families and sadly divorce rate. I do see an absence of confidence with people, confusion about what is my identity in life, like what am I supposed to do? Just a lack of disunity in the workplace, that leads to shortcomings, maybe not getting to a desired result. But there is hope and there is potential. And my third graders can help us out. So let's get started. The first point, I'm just going to go by 3 points and I'm going to share some stories. We're going to laugh. Hopefully I'm not going to make you cry. But let's get started. And while I'm talking, just think about your life. And maybe you're a teacher like Vanessa is, and maybe this can help you with your kids. Or maybe you're a parent and you can help transform your lifestyle. So point number 1, express and confront. Let me ask you all a question. Have you ever left an interaction with someone and you just felt offended but didn't tell them, I know for me that I was a summer camp counselor this past summer, and I was like, I love kids, I love people, it's going to be awesome, I'm so stoked and excited, but I got in the tension with another counselor. There was some tension. And at first, I'm a very people person. I just love, making people laugh. At all costs, I avoid confrontation. I just don't like it. I don't know what it is about me. Maybe I'm just a giver and a loving person, but I just flee from it. So there was tension with this other counselor, and I didn't tell them. I had that knot in my stomach, went around them. You want to tell them how you feel, and then when you think about telling them how you feel, you're convinced they wouldn't receive it well, and so it was just a circle. And I could have blamed it on my culture. My parents, who are here today, they were raised in Portuguese culture, right? And they were telling me when they were growing up, Joseph, we were growing up, it was taboo to speak about things in like family issues. And I could have blamed it on that, but I was like, I just want to be strong through this and confront that person. And it ended on good terms. There was clear communication, and I find that when you care enough to confront, because don't have the perspective of, oh my gosh, it's going to be so awkward to confront this person, and now we're not going to talk. But in your heart, if you're like, wow, I care enough to tell them because they're going the wrong way in life, and they're going to thank me later. Right now, they might be mad at me, and I might get flack for it. But in months and a year from now, I'll be like, wow, thank you so much for doing that. So that was the question I asked. Let's go back. So I said that to say this. The third graders, have helped me a lot with expressing myself, and confronting people. There was this one time I go into aftercare, it's 2 o'clock, the kids come running in, I tell them don't run, they continue running, story of my life. But anyway, I go there aftercare, and this girl comes to me, she's like, Coach Joseph, because that's what they call me. Coach Joseph, this one boy was very mean to me. I was like, okay. I brought him to the side, I was like, is this true? He's like, yes, Coach Joseph, but she made me feel like when a paper is crumbled up and thrown in the trash. I was like, wow, that's clever. But anyway, getting back to the topic. Yes, like when a paper is crumbled up and thrown in the trash. And also because she was very rude to me last year. I was like, I know how you're feeling, but you apologize and let this go. And she apologized, but he didn't. So after about some time, I was talking to 2 other third graders, and I was like, haven't y'all been in a situation where you didn't forgive? And they said, yes, Coach Joseph, but I guess, we just accepted it and moved on. Wow. What if we as adults did that, right away? Just express to each other how we feel, not through texting, not through email or delaying, right away. How healthy would our families be, our relationship with people be? Just as workplace and just environments. Just being open to express and confront. The next point I have is find your voice. Find your voice. So I had a teacher tell me that once. I was probably teachers in here, classroom management was very hard for me, because I'm a nice person, I'm very chill, relaxed, and but I realized that classroom management is very important, and I had to find my voice. A teacher told me that. She's like, Joseph, you have to find your voice. I was like, what does that mean? I'm going to show a video, and I'm just going to talk for the first 20 seconds while it's playing, but after I stop, just watch this girl's reaction. This is Sarah Sherman, and she is 29 years old, and she was born deaf. And as you can see, this doctor here is about to put in her ear a surgical implant. And now let's watch her reaction for hearing her voice for the first time.
There you go.
It's beeping.
So now technically your device is on. Can you tell? Oh, that's exciting. Here, you can put it down for a second. Just get used to the sound. What does it sound like? Do you want to grab some tissue?
I don't want to hear myself cry.
Can you hear me? And you hear your voice? Does your voice sound pretty loud?
No, not really.
Well, that's good.
My laughter sounds loud.
Yeah, you'll get used to all of that over time. You want to hear your husband say something?
So as you can see, she heard her voice for the first time, physically, right? And third graders have helped me find my voice figuratively, right? And let's try to get back to it. So that's that. So yeah, they helped me find my voice figuratively. What does voice mean? Well, voice means tone, assertiveness, confidence, just how I approach life, how I can be a good mentor and counselor, So I was first a counselor in January 2013, right? And I came in, I was like, I love kids, I'm a good person, I love interacting with them, it's fun, what am I going to do next? So I just kept going with it, but I realized the first couple weeks were very hard for me. It was very hard. the kids sensed that I was, yes, a little more soft tone than other counselors. I might appear a little more passive, just kind of lax. But the kids took advantage of that because the counselor before me was more, more of a stern type, a yeller, and they sensed that and took advantage of me. I was really hurt though. I was like, yes, they're only 8 and 9-year-olds, but I was hurt because as humans, don't we all want to be respected, acknowledged, cared for? We want our efforts to be noticed, but the kids didn't see that and they didn't notice it. It actually came to the point where I cried. I had a sit-down conversation with my director, and I cried to her because in my mind I was done, but in my heart I knew there was a calling for the youth. So I went into work and I told them how I felt. I told them, and the kids saw that. They saw my heart. Yes, it wasn't easy recovering, but each time, each and every day, I came with a new mindset, and I came in with just a different approach of how to handle the children. And just imagine a world where, we as adults found our voice. Just like Sarah Sherman found her voice, out of 29 years of her life, found her physical voice. When we find our identity and calling in life, we're going to be just like that. We're like, yes, this is what I was created to do. This is what I'm designed to be, And that's what we have to do. The next point is collaborate and guide. I was listening to a TEDx talk from Nancy Duarte, and she was talking about heroes. And she said to make your audience the heroes. So I was like, yes, I want to make my students the heroes, And she was talking about how, in many heroic tales, there is a normal person, being shown a special world, right? But a mentor comes along. And she mentioned this small film. I don't know if y'all heard of it. I think it's called Star Wars. Is that right? Yeah. She's talking about Star Wars. So she was saying how, Luke Skywalker, she's this person, but being shown this special world, right? And so she's being shown this special world. And I was like, yes, I want to make my students the heroes. I want to make them the Luke Skywalkers. And then I thought, well, who am I? If I'm learning from my children how to express, and confront, if they're teaching me also how to find my voice, I want to also show them who am I. I'm Yoda. I'm the person guiding them, right? If Luke Skywalker is the hero, that's how I am with my students. It doesn't matter to me if I'm not noticed or I'm not, the one on the billboards, Yeah, so I'm Yoda, right? And that's what I'm designed to be, is to be a mentor. So I was substituting one day, and I got the call, Coach Joseph, would you like to accept this job opportunity at elementary school? I'm like, yes, not middle school, elementary school. Okay, I'm excited. I don't know, just with me in middle school, we just don't interact with each other. But anyway, so I got the call to do 3rd grade, and I was excited, Came in, yes, my name is Mr. Almeida. I'll be your substitute for the day. Please don't throw papers at me. All right, let's get started. Okay, so, so I'd say we're going to get started on page 13. So I go to page 13. I'm like, all right, so today we are going to go to page, and I get cut off. I'm like, why do kids always interrupt me when I'm talking? Is it just me or is it you all too? Okay, so anyways, I'm giving instructions and they cut me off. But wait a second, the TEDx talk is about 3rd graders, so I'm going to say they rather politely chimed in. So when I was giving instructions, they politely chimed in. And what I witnessed was fascinating. Every other time when a kid would interrupt me, I would be like, please, let me talk, and then after you can ask a question. But this time I took the back seat, and what I witnessed was fascinating. They were working with each other. They were collaborating. They were coming with the results, and they were seeing things from different perspectives, And as adults, and myself, I'm talking to myself, imagine if we all saw things from each other's perspectives, and didn't just see, our tunnel vision of something. So that's something that I've learned as well, and that they taught me as well. A couple points just to recap is that someone once told me that the age of 8 and 9 is when kids are forming their identity for the rest of their life. And what cool age that I get to be a part of that, Yes, it would be awesome for me to find my top-notch career, maybe be a billionaire or have all these things on the bucket list. But sometimes, how cool is it to help someone get there? What even a better story to help someone get there? So I asked a third grade teacher, what are some positive aspects of third graders? And she said, they have a boundless enthusiasm. They're always curious about everything. Oh my gosh, there's a tree over there. There's another one. They're just so curious about everything. And, I was thinking about it the other day, I'm like, Joseph, how many times do I worry? What if I flushed out worry and came with curiosity, right? Flushed out problems, yes, but not knowing that my friend or sibling has a solution to your problem. That's one thing that's amazing. Maybe this happened to you this week. If you tell a friend, I will let you know if something's wrong. How often do we let each other know? We keep things to ourselves, right? But we should share each other's burdens or share each other's things because we can all live healthier and happier. So in closing, last year, November, one of the most lowest moments of my life. I was in grad school, even my friends and family here, I told them that it was one of the most depressing times of my life. I was in grad school for social work. I took 5 classes, and I was at an internship. And my internship was going to court once a week, listening to domestic violence cases. I heard firsthand stories of human trafficking victims. I served people with disabilities. I went to this one support group. It was called POMC. It stands for Parents of Murdered Children. And I remember coming from that room in Del Rey. It was at a police department, and I was crushed. I'm a person that I internalize things, when you tell me something, I don't just and go away. I'm like, wow, how can I help you? I want to help you. And I internalize things. And it was very hard for me to hear those stories, and then not, take anything away from it. I grew depressed. I couldn't sleep for a month, literally. I took antidepressant pills. I was so down, and it made me worse. I told all my friends and family, and they all had the same answer. Joseph, this is not who you are. I was like, yes, this is not who I am. I was thinking, is it life punishing me? Is social work a bad career? No. I thought about my gifting. I'm an encourager. I'm a people person. I love making people inspired about what they want to do. And I realized that my gifting is to do with the youth. My gift is to mentor. So as I close, I just leave you with just 2 quotes that I kind of came up with. I find that being a true teacher is when there is a mutual wisdom exchange from teacher to student and student to teacher. I can't be an effective teacher unless I'm willing to learn from my students and be changed by them, by adapting to them. In order for me to be a true teacher, even before I become a role model, I need to understand my students. First, be changed by the 3rd grader. Be willing to learn from them also. Oh, sorry. My bucket list, so I ziplined in Costa Rica, I ran a 5K, and I spoke at a TEDx. Thank you so much. Thank you all the speakers, and thank you everyone.